8 by 15-foot sign, just the sign face area, right? So if you do if you do the
Sided,
yes,
okay.
and if you multiply, that will give you roughly 150 square feet. Let's say we're not trying to get the attention of traffic from the neighborhood. We want to get attention from the traffic from the I-10, basically. So to answer your question about where it was located, it was going to be located right next to the billboard, basically, side by side by the billboard,
Sure.
which we're not going to affect the billboard at all either, because we're only asking for 30 feet. The billboard is almost 100 feet, something like that. So we're not going to affect them at all. And I brought some pictures here. I don't know if you guys can see them, but that's the sign placed on that side of the billboard. So the billboard is here. So the sign is here, basically. So that's the idea, to put it on that side. And obviously, we're gonna set it back as much as they want. If they want to set back 20 feet from the property line, whatever it is, we want to set it back. But we want to have a decent sized sign so people from the highway can see us. Because the way it is now, you can't even see anything.
Yeah.
Because if you guys look at that fence that's there, that fence right there is almost 12 feet high. And they're saying we cannot even exceed 15 foot in height. So imagine a tiny little sign like 3 of these, if you're going to see it from the highway. There's no way. So pretty much everybody else, all the neighbors have large signs, like the one across the street, which is Shamrock. They have a large, it's 50, 60 foot high. The one across the freeway is 30, 35. McDonald's has another 40 footer. And it just happens that we were right in the edge of that, what's it called, the urban
corridor sign overlay.
Yeah. Okay. And the total area of your sign per side is what?
So if you guys go back to that sheet, calculated is, so this right here will be 50 feet in square footage, right?
Per each of those?
So one of these is 50, one of these is 50.
For each side of each of those.
Okay.
Per side, yes.
Per side.
And this will be 10 by 10.
That's 100.
Yes.
So you're 200.
Yes. That measurement there, the 31 foot, that's what they call like the edge of the sign, basically edge of this. So the pole is basically like, I think,
43 feet.
43 feet.
yeah, so it's a real bad shape, but
That's okay. It's all right. We can imagine what a gasoline station sign looks like. We've seen several.
It was like the one we have now, but it was 4 times bigger, basically. So just imagine that.
Elena, this
Yes, sir.
urban corridor overlay district, you made a comment that we're at the edge. Where is the district and what streets does the district cover? Is it Spur 380?
It is spur 380. It is essentially from I-10 to West Cardinal.
So it's mainly along the intent. Let me ask this: do you think, you may not know,
In this property, and all we want is obviously to make our money back, so that's gonna help us, generate more foot traffic. But again, it's all towards the I-10 frontage. I mean,
So here's one of the concerns I think that is the spirit of the ordinance thing. Okay. The Jet Mart Fuel for Less sign's got to come down.
we can take it down.
Okay. Can't have a sign on that street. You can have, if we grant you a variance, it's going to be for this particular sign and that particular location.
Yes.
And this particular
Yes.
configuration on the access road.
Yes.
That's, if a motion's made, if it's not made in those terms, I'm going to move to amend it to be that way.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We were willing to.
we're trying to protect?
We're trying to protect
The corridor.
MLK and the neighborhood and the people on MLK. But, you're looking at highway access road. And I get your point.
So one other clarification, Elena, the size of the sign, the square footage he's talking about, our regular sign ordinance, it doesn't violate that?
Yeah. on
our regular sign ordinance would not actually apply to it because it's not in that, if it's in the overlay, it doesn't go to the regular sign ordinance, it immediately goes to that overlay
Understand
ordinance.
that, but if it were outside the overlay and we were talking about a regular sign,
For a light industrial district, it's 10 feet off the property line, 50 feet max height.
and surface area not specified.
In no overlay district and just in an industrial area, it's 10 feet with 50 feet max height.
Okay.
So you can do it as big as possible. That's what we thought. And then
Well-
whenever we order it, it's like, oh, you can't do it.
So we've had those along.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's why I just want to make sure that if we say, okay, we're protecting the corridor, the overlay district.
that we're not
but right at
violating
the
the other
fringe of it, we're not violating the ordinance
No.
with a size sign.
understand.
Does that
Shouldn't
kinda
be.
make sense?
That's a one-way this way, so the sign's
Yeah.
here. I mean, I could see if it was maybe this way, but it's so,
I mean, yeah.
And that's what we put it on that side also, because we, like I said, we knew that, hey, yeah, we saw the ordinance and it's like, okay, well, we're willing to move it over there instead of where the old sign was. Because the old sign was right there in the corner on that 45-degree angle. So we said, okay, well, let's move it back over there. So you just clearly just for the highway, not for the little street. So that's why we moved it over there.
Okay. All right. Let's add a position aspect to this, which is as positioned in the request. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so we know it's on that, what would be the western boundary along that western boundary?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good enough. All right, so we understand your request, at least I do. Anybody else got a question about this? Okay, anybody else, go ahead, step back if you would. Anybody else want to speak for, against, otherwise comment on, or say anything about this item
Thank you.
PZ 2023-427? All right, hearing none, more discussion, or somebody got a motion to make?
I make a motion, we approve PZ 2023-427.
I second.
Okay, may I request that the as requested be amended to say that the position of the sign shall be as requested as well?
Yes.
Okay, agreed?
Yes.
Okay. We have a motion or a second, an amendment that's approved. All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed to the amendment? Okay. Call a roll for the vote, please, ma'am.
Chairman Tamayo,
For it.
Board Member Beaver,
For it.
Board Member Hilliard,
Four.
Board Member Rowe,
Or
Board Member Sorrell.
For it.
Thank you, you're granted. One more item for today, which is PZ 2023-428. It is a request for a variance to the minimum rear yard setback at 9275 Chicory Street from 25 feet to 7 feet for garage. Could we have the staff report, please, ma'am?
Sir, Douglas Winfrey Custom Homes, on behalf of Robert Core, is requesting a variance to the rear yard setback for the property located at 9275 Chicory Street. The property is zoned RS, which requires a minimum rear yard setback of 25 feet. The applicant is requesting the rear setback be reduced from 25 feet to 7 feet to accommodate an extension of the homeowner's garage. We mailed out 22 property owner notices, received 0 in favor or 0 in response. On your screen is the location map of the property. I apologize, this was as clear as I could get it and as small as I could get it to fit. We are looking at it opposite way. Mr. Rowe has got his head going the correct way.
I'm trying to read it.
I know, I'm so sorry. I tried to finagle it, but every way I turned it, it kind of made it a little harder to read. So looking at the edge of the screen is the back property line with the 7-foot from the back property line to the new extension proposed. On the screen is the subject property. And then this is the side where the garage extension would be along with the brick fence.
Pushed back toward the back.
Just slightly, yes, it would be inset, from what I can tell. And again, I do apologize. The scanned copies were super hard to get a clear image of.
We got it.
And the applicant is present.
Looks like this.
Any questions of the witness?
That's the drawing.
No,
Gentlemen,
hopefully they can give us a better copy.
Yeah.
This one right here.
you got any questions before we move to the next witness? Okay.
I do.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Is this a new subdivision?
It is. It is at the very end of Dishman Road. So past the soccer fields, all the way down to the left.
Okay.
By the flumes.
Oh, that's a,
Yeah.
that has a, okay.
Brand new subdivision.
Yep.
It's messed up. Yeah.
Says the surveyor. All right, who else wants to speak for, against, or otherwise make a comment about PZ 2023-428? Yes, sir, please step forward, tell us your name, your relationship to the property, and then just tell us whatever you want to.
My name is James Little. I'm the owner of Beaumont Design and Drafting, the company that did the plans for this extension. When I did the plans for this, the plat that I was working off of showed originally a 5-foot building setback along the back property line. The existing garage as it is located is only about 20 feet from that property line, so it's now within the 5-foot exclusion zone. We're requesting that an additional single-car garage be allowed to be constructed as shown on the drawing on the screen.
You guys,
How far off the property line would the single-car garage be? The
About-
wall, the slab?
It would end up being about 7 feet 3 inches from the property line, which is 2 feet inside that original 5-foot building setback.
Did you, I'm trying to think, this subdivision has some strange restrictions. It has some, in the rear yard. It's strange because they changed it early on.
Yes,
Is it on the plat? Because I don't remember on the plat, the 5-foot.
this is, I believe, the second or third section of the meadows that was built. It was built sometime, or the original plats was done, I think sometime back in the 80s. But nothing was being constructed out there until the last several years. And there was one situation where it came up that a building was too close to the property line. And I think the original, the original documentation set, what was 25 or so feet, I forget. But somehow that was overlooked when construction started. There are numerous houses built out there that are probably no more than 10 feet from the back property line that back up together.
It got messed up. Okay, and I don't remember the whole history. There is some issues with the rear setback in this neighborhood. I wish I'd pulled the plat. I should have pulled the plat, but there is some issues. You know, I thought they had went to the 15, which is the minimum the city allows without any exterior accessory building. You know, the city allowed 15. I just don't remember. This is my concern with this deal. We're pushing into a side setback on the house, on the
Well,
lot behind it.
If you look at it from one way, the existing garage is now within that 25 foot.
Right.
And according to the plat that I used when I laid this out, it was a 5-foot building setback. and I'm 2 feet and a couple of inches within that building setback.
So I may not be 100% correct, but I believe the 5-foot would be a would be a side yard setback for a single-story house, and it'd be 7.5 foot for a 2-story house
Typical,
is
common.
typically.
Right, for fire issues and emergency access. Now, we could amend this to where this is going to be call it a 2-story, if you will. It's a 8-foot ceiling, and then the attic space is going to be used for storage and not living occupancy, just basically storage.
So it hasn't been constructed, so what, are you saying that it could be amended to maintain a minimum of a 7.5 foot setback?
Right now, we're 7 foot 3 inches, and it wouldn't hurt to back up 3 inches to get to that point.
You're talking side or you're talking back?
I would like to clarify, the request is for a rear yard setback.
a
This is
rear
not the
yard setback.
side.
It's side,
Yeah.
side to the other one.
Yeah, the side is.
And so the house, the lot behind it,
Would have
that
side
would be
yard
their
setback.
side yard. And
Yeah, I
that's-
understand.
That's what I'm referring to.
Right, I see that.
Yeah, on this photograph here are I forget the name of the street that runs north and south, that has been extended on. Chicory, where you see it stops there, it has been extended down to the,
Yes, and we do have permits for the house being constructed immediately to the back of this on West Sage, or I'm not sure if it has the front street. There is current construction going on that lot behind this house.
Any other questions of witness?
I guess, I guess in just, to follow on his thoughts were, if you do the 7.5, you're giving a little bit more of that separation in those yards.
Right.
So it kind of goes along with,
You're requiring the structure to stay at least as far off that line as the neighboring property has to stay off of that line.
Right.
yeah, the neighbor on the other side of this lot right here, the neighbor on
Right.
the other side had to be that far off of,
Understood.
It looks like the pool encroaches on the property line. Next door, I mean, it's like right on the property line.
Yeah, West Sage is the name of the street. So, yeah, and there's a little,
Yeah, see where the pool deck goes?
got it.
the original plat shows on West Sage to be a 25-foot building setback. And what we are doing in an attempt to save some construction issues and issues with associated issues with windstorm type construction, I have set the limits of the building 2 feet inside the dimensions of the existing garage. That way it can be constructed without tearing into the existing roof and causing windstorm certification problems and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Your pitch is, show me the picture again. Yeah. And this is coming in off of,
Yes, so what we're looking at technically is from the exterior side. So
That's from West Sage.
That's from West
looking
Sage.
West
east.
Sage, yes, so
Right.
that should be, it's abutting a.
So where
what's
you're
the
just
rear
gonna-
yard?
rack that over to the right.
Yes.
and this
Okay.
other driveway's not too close to the property line? This
No,
one?
sir, so pavement the pavement will have to maintain 2 feet off the property line.
Yeah,
That's
but
all
you
pavement.
put pavement.
I think on that.
Wait, well, I guess so.
You willing to accept Mr. Beaver's idea of
Yes.
7.5? Okay.
I can actually back it up another, instead of 3 inches, we can go back another 4 or 5 inches. That way we've got a couple of inches of what I'd call wiggle room there.
Well, we say 7.5. We hope you back it up a foot or, a couple of inches just so you're safe. But, okay. All right. So that's where we stand. Any other questions of the witness? Any other comment you want to make?
Just seeking approval on it.
Okay. Anybody else want to speak for, against, or otherwise comment on PZ 2023-428? Hearing none. Commentary, discussion among you guys? Hearing none, is there a motion?
I'll move to approve
A variance.
a variance for, file, make sure I've got the right one, PZ 2023-428 for the rear yard setback from 20, to be reduced from 25 feet to 7.5 feet, 7 feet 6 inches minimum.
Okay. Second to that motion?
Second.
Hilliard seconds. Would you call the roll for a vote, please, ma'am?
Chairman Tamayo,
I'm for it.
Board Member Beaver,
For it.
Board Member Hilliard,
Four.
Board Member Rowe, Board Member Sorrell.
For it.
Unanimously granted. Thank you. Is there any other business to come before us today? And hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.
I know, right?
Sometimes we